My name is Emma and I am a hoarder of cozy games that go unplayed in my Steam library for ages. But this week I have decided to have a dig through my library and try some of these games in hopes of finding a hidden gem that I have ignored. So here are all the games that I tried this week. Let me know if you've played any of these games in the comments and which one you enjoyed or maybe didn't enjoy. Don't forget to like and also subscribe if you want more cozy game content, but let's get into this. First up, I tried Assemble with Care. This game has had so many good reviews on Steam, and after playing it, I can see why. It was released in 2020, and honestly, I cannot remember when I bought this game, so potentially it's been sitting in my library for quite a while. In the game, you follow Maria, who is an antique restorer who travels the world, and the game follows her journey as you arrive in the town of Bella Riva as they're preparing for a food festival. One thing that really jumped out to me from the get-go was the fact that this game is fully voice acted. Sometimes I like to play the games with the sounds off, but I definitely kept them on for this one. The voices were really nice. The illustrations were also really beautiful and well done, and it kind of felt like a storybook as you flip through the pages, which I liked as it wasn't overly fussy. This game is a puzzle game as well as having a strong narrative, and my first challenge was to help fix a girl's cassette player, which was a little bit nostalgic for me as a 90s baby. There wasn't any real tutorial or guide to this, and sometimes you may see that as a bit of a negative, but I kind of just got stuck into trying to repair it, and seeing the issue was pretty easy, so it wasn't much of a problem. It took me a little moment to get used to picking up and rotating the items, but the controls weren't that hard to manage. After completing the little puzzle, you got to learn a little bit more about the character, and from the first interaction, I knew that there were going to be some feelings in the game as they got a little bit deep with the story straight away. From there on, the game kept up with this pattern of fixing things and then learning more about the item's owner and learning more about the story. It was a nice combination and kind of kept things interesting. The puzzles did get a little bit harder as I progressed, with some of them having lots more steps, but I didn't find myself needing too many hints or helps, so it was pretty easy going. Overall, if you like satisfying games like Unpacking and Lil to the Left, I highly recommend checking this one out. The story was good, it wasn't anything groundbreaking, as the characters' issues did feel a little bit predictable, but they did help bulk out the game and they were easy reading. One of the downside for me was the controls. They were a little bit clunky. Perhaps this was because there was no written explanations on how to operate them. And also, just bear in mind the game length is quite short. There are only a dozen or so chapters in the game, so don't expect this to be a long one. That being said, it is a short game and the current price does seem to reflect that, as it is currently £5.79, which is about $7, which I don't think is too bad for a couple hours of gameplay. The second game I wanted to try is Cozy Caravan, and this game only released into early access in May this year, but I was so busy at the time I never got round to enjoying it then. This is a single player game all about travelling around a rural world and helping out the inhabitants, which includes crafting, cooking and harvesting. You'll need to stock up on resources to sell as you host your very own market stall, which was a nice little feature. Straight away when I opened this game, I was in awe of the very cute animals. The character customization didn't have super detailed options, but there was a good array of animals and outfits to choose from. It didn't take long for me to become addicted to the gameplay loop of picking up vegetables, giving villagers lifts to different places, and completing all of the side quests. There was a nice variety of things to do and explore throughout the world. It felt like there was a nice sense of freedom as well, as I wasn't constrained to doing a particular quest, and it definitely didn't feel rushed, which is a major plus for me. There is, however, a good incentive to keep helping others too, as by filling up your heart bar you will unlock tokens to allow you to make improvements to your caravan. There were also quite a few mini games, and I did enjoy the cooking. It was easy to understand, and it was also nice to discover new recipes as you move throughout the game. Running the market was also very straightforward. You open the stall, then you set out your product that you wish to sell, and then you wait for a purchase. You could also close your shop at any time, which was handy early on if I ran out of any stock. As I said at the beginning, the game is still in early access, and there are definitely some improvements that the developers could still work on. Since the game's release, they have added a quest tracker, but for me this did come a little bit late in the game. I would have liked this to be right at the start. I did also encounter a few bugs, although none of them were game breaking. I just felt sorry for the villager that got trapped under the town square because of where I set up my market. From what I've played so far for an early access game, there is a lot of content so far and the game is very promising. It's really nice to see that the developers are working on frequent updates and hotfixes, which is nice to see. I would say there is enough to keep you occupied if you do want to buy it before its official release, but if you want to wait, don't forget to add it to your wish list. I will definitely be playing more of this. It kind of scratched an Animal Crossing itch for me, definitely. The third game that I tried was the puzzle game Strange Horticulture. This game released in 2022 and honestly, again, I have no clue when I bought this. I do know that it's available on the Switch and I think after playing I would have rather played it on the Switch or on my Steam Deck, as it does seem to be a pretty simple game to navigate playing handheld. When I first saw the description, I did not expect this to be so puzzle heavy. I thought that there would be more of like a shop running vibe to it, like having to manage money, buy things, but it's definitely not that. Yes, you will have customers who visit the shop in need of plants, and there'll be some repeat customers who will learn more and more about as you go through, but this game is more of a point and click mystery solving game where you follow the story and have to identify and find a variety of plants based on some cryptic clues. I wasn't mad about this and I did enjoy this kind of premise, but sometimes I did find the descriptions a little vague even after reading the book's descriptions, so I won't lie, I was very grateful for the hint system. But overall the puzzles weren't too challenging and I did find them to be the right balance of difficulty. I first played Strange Horticulture on a very grim grey autumn day and the weather outside perfectly matched the vibes from this game. The eerie shop front with the grey windows to the atmospheric music, it all had that kind of darker tone to it. The story also kind of had that same feeling. I really enjoyed following the different snippets of information from the character interactions, the letters and the clues. I also loved the choice of the setting. I've recently been to the Lake District in the UK and it was nice to see some familiar name places on the map that I had visited. The way the map was used also did feel pretty unique and I enjoyed matching up some of the clues to finding the correct places on the map. I haven't yet completed this game, but I have made some good progress, uncovering quite a lot of the plants, and from other reviews, I have seen that it isn't the longest of games, but I'm okay with that. Overall, I did enjoy this game. I kind of expected a little bit more from it given the amount of overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, but it was still fun and it definitely tested my brain cells a little. The next game was a recommendation from a community member and they very kindly sent it to me as a gift on Steam, so thank you very much, Madman. So I decided to give this one a try finally. This is Magical Mixture Mill and it was released in March of this year. This game is a crafting and shop management game with a fantasy twist as you play as an alchemist brewing potions. From what I've played so far, I did enjoy the gameplay and found it to be quite casual. The automation of the different stations was a little intimidating at first, but once I got the hang of it, it was pretty straightforward. I can, however, see that it will take quite a bit of time to build something huge, as you do only start with a small room. However, I did like the fact that things were auto-crafting while sleeping. That was a definite bonus for me. Another key thing I did like was exploring the map and gathering resources. It was a little bit grindy, but this is kind of an activity I enjoy in games, particularly like the first time where you get to run around, relax and pick up whatever you want. The map wasn't overly big and there were some nice fast travel points again, which I did appreciate. The graphics of this game are really visually appealing to me and the music was quite nice. There were also a few funny character interactions, which was always nice to see. To make this game really kind of stand out to me, I would have liked it to be more about making potions and less about the automation and machinery, but that is kind of the direction that they were going with for this game, so I kind of think that's a bit of a tough ask. task. I think there could have definitely been more of a stronger story as well, and like a purpose. It did seem like we were just building a shop, and maybe some more customer interactions would have been nice. But overall, I'm definitely going to give this another try. I do think this one may be a bit of a grind though, so just bear that in mind if you're thinking about buying it. And finally, we have another strategy and puzzle game. I do like these to relax. Doorframe Antique is one of my most played Switch games for that reason. A game similar to that is Pile Up. This is a strategy city builder style game, and I first tried the demo for this way back ages ago, and then as soon as it released I bought the game but never actually got round to playing it. Instead of building out like you would expect with city builders, you actually have to build up. You start with a tiny island and you're given different buildings to place, which vary from houses, factories, parks, and even a casino. In the main game, you have to be a little bit tactical, as to have a happy population, you'll want to make sure that all of their basic needs are met, such as power and water. Some buildings also have special placement requirements, so you have to pay attention to them, and if you get it wrong, the results can be catastrophic. I played a couple hours of this game in chill mode, and I did that because I wanted pretty laid back gameplay, and it did give that. I completed the first couple of maps and I was able to move on pretty quickly. Since I first played the demo, they have added a few new features such as the sandbox mode, which is nice, and it kind of makes the game feel a bit more like Townscaper, another kind of chill building games. There is also Moby the Whale lurking around who you can actually pet, and there are also some memoirs and planning tools to help you build as well. I didn't get to use these yet, but I can see how they would be useful. This game was fun, and it did feel different to other games that you might consider similar, and I did feel the need to hit the goals and try and beat my previous high scores from what I have played so far. I don't think there is a lot of longevity with it. I would probably only play it in short sessions, but perhaps that's what makes this a good casual game. You can easily pick it up and put it down again. So there we have it. There is everything I've played this week. I hope this kind of inspired you to go back through your library and see what you haven't played in a while. Don't forget to let me know in the comments if you've played any of these, but have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye!